last Saturday was our 38th Underground Developmental show, and we, for the first time, had it in. Well, it wasn't the first time. The first time we had our main UD shows was in Jersey City at Pearl Studios, which is the studio building that we've been having our studio in, which we're in right now, NJ Underground Studios, which is a studio me and my friend Tag run. Um, Ashley also runs the studio as well. I know she was giving me, I felt the devil looks Ashley was giving me right then and there. But yeah, we just had our 38th Underground Developmental show. It was super tedious in order to get to, honestly, like to get to that point because we've been doing shows for the last like 6 months in Kearney, New Jersey, and it's been really cool. Like when we first got back going and started having it at Sesh House, it was really dope, and we had such a big, like we had some of the biggest crowds we've ever had. Nevertheless, it was something new, especially for me as the event planner, as the runner of the events, because um, financially it was way more than what we had previously. This venue was $1,000 per day. I mean per show, as well as I really stepped up my staff, and my staff was now $750 per show. So that was a big chunk of change in order to fucking make up for the shows and like a bigger like space as well. But I really loved it because it was like it made it more prestigious, it made it bigger, it made it like in a way it just made it for more room for us to grow and made it for us to be able to um, really embellish in a bigger space and really in a prestigious space. And it was really dope, and I really enjoyed being there. But having the shows here kind of really made me really feel like we really thrive in more intimate spaces. Like even though like the last venue was a very prestigious space, it was the only negative about it was not only it didn't really like as an independent company, as an independent not even company, as an independent business, um it's a lot of like shit on the back end that you have to make sure is straight, like the making sure the event can pay for itself, or I have to pay out of pocket in order to do that, and that's just not something that's sustainable as a business. And if I'm having to sit here and scrape for every last dime in order to make the shows happen, then that's less time that I can spend on actually helping the artist grow and helping the brand grow so that the artist can have a bigger platform to showcase themselves on. So that was something that was tedious, and I was doing that a lot for the being at Sesh House because it was a lot of money on the end of the business, and especially doing it super consistently. And after a while, it just wasn't profiting for itself enough. So just as a business, it's not something that's going to have long term longevity, as well as the intimacy because of how big of a space it was less than how it was at a previous space. So but at the end of the day, I also didn't want to, even though this was a great option. We just had a UD Unplugged show, which was kind of like um, I mean, it was like a UD show, but it was just a kind of a spinoff of it. We had a show here, and we essentially had our studio open, and within our studio, like we've had this a studio in here for like a little over 2 years, and um always had that option, but I've been always trying to think bigger and get to a bigger standpoint and like grow to that point where we can be like a bigger business and really be like worldwide and really be the have like thousands of people come to every show. But as a business, you can't jump certain hurdles without actually being ready to be there. So I think me trying to overlook this space because it wasn't quote unquote prestigious enough was kind of like a misstep, because where we thrive is the more intimate spaces, and especially like just looking prestigious and just for the sake of looking prestigious isn't conducive to growing your brand. It's good for it's good for appearances, but if it doesn't actually help the business grow and the artist grow, then it's all just smoke and mirrors at the end of the day, just to make yourself look like a big artist. I want the artist to be a big artist. I don't want them to look like a big artist. So having the events at the space now at Pearl Studios is a lot better actually, because number one, we have a lot of space. We had the show when we did the Unplugged show, which was the spin-off show to the series that we had our studio open. So this space, the studio was open. We had and the performance room was open. So we had performances with a bunch of artists, and we had the studio open. So it was really dope because it was really intimate, and something that we thrive on in our community is being intimate with each other and being very close knit and having a community of people who are friends. Like most of my friends that I have now are people in the community. So it's it's really, that is something that's so substantial about our community, is that it's a family. It's not really just a community. So people really, it's not even just about the obviously within UD, like something that is super profound is just being able to have that uh it don't have to be prestigious to be prestigious. You could if you make something nice and in like a place that's like actually really intimate and tight knit, then you could have something very substantial. It's just about what kind of effort you put into it. So I feel like we bring that within everywhere that we go, and the Unplugged show really showed me how this is something that could be a very dope venue. And so currently in the last month, the Sesh House is not allowing the same shows that they had before. So they're on kind of a pause, or I don't really know what's going on, but they're not having shows at the moment. So we had to pivot because we already had a show planned there. So we had to pivot the show. And we pushed back 2 weeks from the show so we had more time to promote, as well as yeah, we pushed back 2 weeks for the show, as well as moved the show to Pro Studios. So when we did that, we had the studio open, and we had this studio, we had the performance room open, and they have a performance room downstairs too. So we have a lot of shit going on, so we needed to get all three of those. So in here we had content going on, different pieces of content going on for artists to be able to get on. We had the performances going on in the performance room, and everything was live streamed. You guys could check out the entire live stream of the night on our YouTube page right now. We also had downstairs, we had vendors, we had painting table, we had podcasts for the artists to get on. And we had painting display, and we had tacos. We had fucking food down there as well. And yeah, it's just a lot of different things that we had, especially like something that we really, I mean, we're called Underground Developmental for a reason. We're trying to give the artists a way that they can develop themselves, that they can grow their career, and they could grow their art. And there it was dope because something I was saying significantly on the stage was you're able to go and do different things as an artist. Even if you're not performing, you could go get on multiple different content pieces. You could get on a podcast. You could talk to career coaches. There's multiple different things that you can do as an artist in order to grow yourself and really grow your fan base. So that's what we've been providing at Underground Developmental, and I think having it here really made it dope. And honestly, my recap of the show is it was my favorite show in a long time. And not only because I was just performing, because like I really think we thrive on intimate spaces, because I was just in a different element when we was having the show here, in the sense of how I felt by hosting, how I felt like the camaraderie with just being around the community in that tight knit space, and just being able to interact with everybody in that way just really brought out the best in me in terms of when I went up to host. I just had fun with it. When I performed, I had one of the most intimate performances that I've ever had because I was really having so much fun with it. Um, and I could tell, especially with what we're doing now with interviewing the artists and getting to know the artists more behind the scenes before the events as well with the live streams. I really felt like I got to know the artists and just felt like so connected with the artists at the shows as well. And it was just really dope. And I actually really love having the show here. And it kind of honestly was, I, this kind of does feel like my second favorite venue at this point. That we've had the shows at because just the intimacy element of it is very significant, and especially at the price, like this is half the price as the last venue, and that's something that's substantial because when you're running a business and you're trying to expand and you're trying to grow it and you're trying to also help it benefit the artist to help grow the artist as well, then um we have to ensure that everything is making sense in order for us to continue to keep going. Because if I'm just sitting here and focusing on how are we gonna make the money in order to pay for everything instead of focusing on let's do something affordable, and that's a really dope, really intimate, really cool series of shows that we can continue to grow upon. And every show we could really focus on growing, getting a step further, a step higher, growing the social media, or growing the artist, growing the brand, instead of just sitting here and focusing how to scrape up every last dollar that we can get in order to make the artist look more prestigious than they are. No, I want to. This is this is uh hard sweat work. We have to fucking sit here and really grind and actually get one step at a time to get to where we want to get to. So it's really just a matter of making it make more sense because a lot of shit doesn't show you the behind the scenes in the sense of like, hey, this may look dope, but we're struggling, or this don't make dope, or like whatever. Like a lot of everything is just smoke and mirrors. That's why I love the UD platform, because everything is just really raw and peeled back, and like there's no magic tricks in front of your eyes. These are the how things work, and these are how things go. There's no investors behind this shit. There's no fucking um nothing behind this shit. This is fucking bare bone, just put together by the people. So I feel like just having it at this venue really um is the smartest possible way we can do it, so that we can have a space and that's less money, more profitable, more access. Like we have this space 24/7. We have the ability to set up in these spaces beforehand. We have the ability to do so much within the space. We have the ability to essentially build up to the point where we could buy more rooms to have more ability to do more shit with the artists in different rooms, even to the point where we could fucking buy the building or a building, whatever, and just continue to grow and continue to go up. But if we're just spending all of the money elsewhere and spending all of the money outside of this, and not building where we are, then we're not going to be able to expand as much as we'd like. So that's really the game plan of growing where we are and gaining more really just worldwide recognition from the social media and the um, just bare bones trying to help the artists develop themselves and grow their brand as well. So I think the show was amazing, and I love the performances. Everybody really showed so much love. It was so much energy. Motherfuckers was moshing a lot. We got a lot of dope ass fucking footage, and especially like how we're rolling out everything. Like the staff was amazing. Like the staff was really on top of their shit and really helpful and really I appreciate the staff so much for showing all of the help and the love that they do to the shows and giving that platform for the artists to be able to do what they do, because that brings so much value to our platform with the artists coming through and doing that. So Yeah, it was really amazing, and I loved how much that you could tell like the artists were so genuine about their um experience performing as well. Like they, you could tell that they really loved what they were doing on the stage, and they really had fun with it as well, which is the biggest aspect of it as well. Um, and the only thing that I want to just keep going with is just keep helping them grow and just keep giving them more platforms and just doing more. There's so much that I'm about to roll out with May as well that I want to do with the artists, like different practices, like different helping them create content, like just different things that we can do in order to help the artists actually grow more and without just performing. Like we have a whole a spot, we have a whole studio where we could have the artists come through, and essentially we could all just develop together, and we're going to be showcasing all of that shit for you guys on streams, on our YouTube channel, on our social medias, and just showing how we're actually getting to the point where we're developing with the most raw, like bare bones way you possibly can, so that any artist who's watching can also learn step by step, like learn with us how we're growing as well, and see what's working and seeing what's not working, and fucking utilizing it for your own shit as well. So it's all just a movement for the artists to be able to push themselves forward. And I want people from different states to come through to here. At one point, we're gonna do fucking um, UD tours where we go around the fucking we go around the US and fucking do tours and do like stops around. But I mean, for that point, at that point we would have to already be like a fucking already huge ass brand, like on like around the world and shit. But we're gonna fucking get there. So that's why I'm already putting shit in motion right now. I'm already plotting on how we're gonna roll that out, because that's already planned, the long term plan. So I'm way off topic, but UD30, it was amazing. I think it was absolutely amazing. I'm super excited for UD39. I'm super excited for all the new staff. We just um, locked in for really roles that they're going to be great at, and it's going to help us substantially, and just help me a lot in terms of not having to do so much on the day to day, so that I can focus on actually growing the brand and getting to the point where we can actually get to do the tours and get to the point where we're growing the artists to have a big fan base, and the brand to have a big fan base as well. So it's just a daily constant growth of that. It's a daily grind of that as well. And UD30 really gave me a lot of motivation and energy to keep going with that and to keep putting on these shows. And it gave me a lot of confidence in this venue and really building from home base and really putting it on, because underground studios is an extension of UD, and that's something that I want to grow as well. So instead of just putting all my effort into other, like elsewhere, into other venues and things like that, let's focus on building here and continue to build and have the intimacy within a space that we have a lot of control over. So I want to continue to have them here, and I have so much hope for the upcoming UD shows, and I want all of the artists who really want to push themselves and showcase themselves to come through, because it brings me so much joy when I see artists who are dedicated and pushing themselves and talented. There's a lot of artists who performed at the last show who are dedicated as fuck, talented as fuck, and genuine as fuck. And I think that's the things. If you have all those things, I feel like you're going to win. And I think that's a key recipe, three-piece recipe to winning, to have the dedication, the talent, and the fucking being a good, genuine person. And I feel like you're going to go really fucking far. So if you want to learn how to grow, if you want to have a helping hand and a dope community behind you to grow, come through to UD39. It's going to be the last Saturday of May. We're in season, part 2 of season 2. We took a little mid season break. Took like 2 months off because the last show was January. Now we're in part 2 of season 2, so we're gonna get going with UD39. UD40 is gonna be a crazy celebration. Um, but yeah, if we have a lot more of UD38 content coming out, podcast, more content that we shot in here, documentary of the behind the scenes of me running the showcase and like beforehand, us setting up and everything. So it's a lot of this is a fucking court. This is a fucking like media conglomerate at this point. So if you want to get help as an artist, definitely tap in with Underground Developmental. And I'm so happy that I feel like we're back to the true intimacy that UD thrives in. Um, yeah. So I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was fucking amazing. And it's only going to get better from here. And I'm excited as fuck to see what happens next. So if y'all came through, thank y'all so much for coming through. I appreciate y'all.